when I started out with a love story of a boy, girl, and of course they can be friends. That's how I took in Maine Pyar Kiya.
I always knew the harsh realities of this industry. I saw my dad struggle for 22 years. I saw my brother not do so good.
Maybe I would have made 1 or 2 films more out of only 7 in 35 years.
But same complaint.
Yeah.
So, but I hear something is happening, maybe with Salman again. Rajveer, Paloma, Avnish, Sooraj, welcome to Pinkvilla.
Thank you.
Can I start by saying the trailer of Dono is amazing. You know, when I saw it, it had this calming effect on me. I felt I could sit with my loved one and see it. So thank you for making it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for making it. Avnish, I want to start this interview with you. You know, for us all 90s kids, Sooraj is like God. He's legend, he's icon. We've all grown up watching his films. But you're his son. So that is our outside perspective. But how do you view his achievements and his stature?
He's not just my father. He's also my idol. I'm his biggest fan. So I think I've always felt that he's one of the greatest directors, and not just in terms of the commercial success. I also feel in terms of the technical brilliance of his films. You know, very often that gets overlooked because the films have been so successful. People don't talk enough, I feel, about how technically wonderful all the films are.
Yeah.
How much we've all learned from watching his films. So like I'm just a massive fan, and just like everyone else, he's also like God to me in that way.
Yeah, but did you have that pressure then that, you know, I'm Sooraj's son, now I have to live up to that expectations?
Honestly, no. I definitely felt a sense of responsibility, you know, and more than anything else, because I'm so fortunate, I've gotten so much of the goodwill. Yeah. You know, so I've had the advantage of the goodwill that he's, you know, sort of that he's accumulated. So many people, you know, they've given me that kind of love because they've loved his films. So I think to have that sense of responsibility was so important for all of us. Yeah. Because all of us, you know, our families have had so much goodwill. So we've all benefited from that. So that sense of responsibility, I think, was definitely there, that we have to make a film that they can all be proud of.
Yeah, sure. Sooraj, in an interview with us earlier, you had said that, you know, before Maine Pyar Kiya, you had no prior experience of directing or writing, but your father threw the challenge at you and you started doing it. Did you take the same approach with Avnish when he came up to you with Dono?
No, I wanted him to be a chartered accountant. I never wanted him to be a filmmaker. From the point of view, the way I saw him growing up. You know, हम अपने बच्चों को देखते हैं कि क्या उनमें best qualities. So I always thought he'll be a good. Even as a director, his half mind is on the business side, on the budgets, much more than me. I am a much more liberal director. But when he came to me that he wants to be a filmmaker, of course I was happy because it was his decision. I only told him that you must make something only if you want to say something. And he says that I have an idea and I want to make a film about closure. So मुझे तो समझ में नहीं आया कि closure है क्या, because I thought he'll come with a love story, you know, when a boy girl goes, मतलब that's how normally. But he says no, it's about closure. It's about when people they have their own demons inside. These were his words. And when you face it, we run away. When you face it, the world opens, the fresh breeze comes in. It's a fresh wind of new love, new age. And that's when I said, oh, now he's a maker who wants to say something. Yeah. Because, you know, if you have to be a director, then you must be like Vijay Anand, you must be like Raj Khosla. I mean, you must want to say. So to that extent, I was very proud. And I only told him that you keep your voice. You should make your film. His selection of Rajveer, Paloma, of Dev, of Meghna, the characters are his. And I'm so happy that 3 children have worked really hard. Such grounded children. I mean, if you ask me, they have been just like any other, on time, on hard work, going through auditions, going through various takes and workshops. I mean, these are workshops I have never done. So I'm very happy that the next generation is coming.
Yeah, but so how do you then view the definition of romance from that time to today? Like he said, it's about closure, which maybe was not like a topic that you explored at that point in time. How do you view this journey of romance from that to this?
I think it's growth with generations, you know, because when I started out with a love story of a boy, girl, and of course they can be friends. That's how I took in Maine Pyar Kiya. But now I ask him, when will Dev Meghna fall in love? He doesn't tell me because I keep asking, प्यार कब होगा? मतलब जब I was an assistant तो होता था अच्छा गाना हो गया मतलब प्यार हो गया. हाँ. फिर वो छूटा. अब जाके he is not yet told me. So when you look at the film, then I understand, okay, where Rajveer, Paloma as characters, they bond and they fall in love.
Yeah.
So I think they should answer this question. I mean, I think it's with generation, they understand, they explore relationships in a different manner.
Sure. Sooraj, in the same interview that I mentioned earlier, you had also spoken about when you saw Salman for the first time, your feeling of him was this chota sa hai, ye kya hero banega. When you saw Rajveer and Paloma for the first time, what was your impressions of them?
Oh, I have this distinct memory where we went to meet Rajveer, and because of the kind of subject, and the first thing that came in my mind that this is there, but of course Avnish had to, and they had to meet, and I remember Avnish narrated to Rajveer, and it was a yes, something connected about the character between Rajveer. I wasn't there in that meeting, and then I came in and I saw them taking some pictures, like he took pictures of Rajveer sitting in your office and Tom sitting. So it just reflected back of the times when I started with Salman. So it's almost the same, and I have this great memory of both of them doing a lot of workshop. And there's one memory which I want to really share. Paloma came in much later, but we were to start a film, and because of the pandemic we could not go to Thailand. I mean, this film has been shot on the islands of Thailand, 3-4 islands. And I had to tell both the children, that we have to wait for a year. So I remember Avnish is sitting, Rajveer is sitting, and I broke the news. Avnish is silent, and Rajveer turns and says, "It's okay, shit happens." And then Paloma is waiting for 6 months for when do we start, because we shot it in those, but we didn't want to compromise.
Yeah.
Because this film deserves. Dono, if you see, it's a fresh take on romance, a fresh take on closure. So. And then I remember Paloma. First photo I saw of Paloma was holding a gun. So I thought this, but something in that expression that she had was very relevant to Meghna.
Yeah. Because
Meghna as a character goes through a lot of scars. Yet she's a little girl from inside, but yet we are portraying different emotions. I mean, it's a very complex. His character, I think, is very beautiful. It's very noble. Hers is a lot of scars, a lot of layers.
Yeah.
So I remember that gun. So I always remember, but some magic happens when you see someone. Of course, we kept her waiting for a long time because we ourselves did not know when we were to start, and because it's complex character, but I think she just remained.
Yeah. How beautifully explained, sir. I want to see the film even more now. Paloma, in one of my earlier interactions with Madhuri ji, she told me when she did a Rajshri film, they had a tradition, and Renuka Shanaji also told me this a few years later, that the filmmakers at Rajshri make them read from a Hindi book, and they read a few pages, and that's one of their ways to audition. Did that happen with you?
No, that used to happen with my father. Yeah. Unfortunately, I wish he would have been here alive to see this film, because he was really keen that this film should be made well. As my father, Rajkumar Barjatya, he had this tradition that he would always, judge by giving them some book to read, especially a Hindi book, because he believed, that without learning the dialogues how one reads, because he was of the opinion that if you can read well with the correct commas, then you have it to be an actor. So Madhuri, Renuka are this generation, but I wish I should actually have made them read the book just for tradition.
But I was lucky enough when Avnish was narrating the film, after they selected me and everything, I had that beautiful experience, and I believe that all Rajshri actors are narrated the film and the songs, and they sing the songs for you, and the whole experience you have in that narration, I was lucky enough to experience that, so that was amazing.
Yeah. Rajveer, I had interviewed your brother in the same hotel when he was making his debut, and he said something very interesting back then. He said when he broke the news to his father, Sunny ji, he took him to your grandfather, Dharamji, and Dharamji warned him about the business, saying that it has all kinds of ups and downs. How was your approach? Did you go to your father first or grandfather first?
I think Dad saw me do theatre in school, so he always had a thought that I'm going into this line. And I never had a moment where I broke the news to anybody. It was just meant like they just understood them. You can warn me how much ever you want. I am going to take this journey. And if I fail, it's my own education to learn or not.
Yeah.
So he always kept distance from that, never clouded my judgment, but I always knew the harsh realities of this industry. I saw my dad struggle for 22 years. I saw my brother not do so good. So you didn't really have to talk about it.
Yeah.
I saw it with my own eyes. I experienced it. So that made me more focused in prepping.
But then does that scare you? And the question goes to all three of you. You know, like this industry sees so many ups and downs. You know, even with the biggest actors, directors, it happens all the time. Does it scare you?
It does scare you, but I remember someone told me that this is not life or death. End of the day. You know, success is not on if you become a star or not. If you truly enjoy acting, if you truly enjoy the craft, and you truly feel like it like liberates you in a part of a way, then go ahead. You might do big movies, you might be a lead, you might not be. I happen to have such a surname where my only entrance is as a lead actor. So it's a big building where you start off, but the fall is pretty big.
Yeah, that's true. Paloma, you also come from a legacy. How does that scare you?
I think more than scare, firstly, I feel very excited that I've started my journey now. You know, we went through a long process before I got selected for this. So it means so much more when you're actually working so hard and waiting to get that phone call. You're very excited. And of course, with the pandemic, you didn't know when you could really start. You know, we didn't know theaters were shut. We didn't know when we could start shooting our film. I think it's a responsibility. I think we're very lucky to have the kind of support we have from our parents. You know, they've been in this industry for so many years. They've seen so much. The kind of advice and the things that the inside intel you get from them is something that is, you can't compare it to anything else. I feel very lucky to have that support system. Yeah, I was able to understand like the nature of our profession a lot more because I had parents from it.
Yeah.
So it's only helped me, I feel. I think comparisons and all are inevitable. You can't run away from those things. You can only hope that one day you will be able to create your own identity. Audiences will accept you for your work. And yeah, at the end of the day, you know, we're so passionate about acting. That's the main focus. Let our work talk, you know. Yeah.
I think to just carry on from what Rajveer and Paloma have said, you know, that if you're in here for, and that's what my father told me as well, that if you truly love, for me personally, if you love filmmaking, then it will not scare you as much. 100% the jitters do come, you know, everyone wants validation, everyone wants appreciation, pehli film hai, you want people to like it. But I think that the love for the filmmaking process itself, that is something that should drive you always. And I honestly feel that, you know, even today when I see the cut of Dono right now, I'm so proud of the fact that a film banane ka mauka mila hai. You know, so fear is there, yes, but I think the joy of the process just outweighs that.
Yeah. So Avnish, Paloma and Rajveer have just started, but I would like to ask you this question. In the trailer there is a line कि अगर reset button होता तो मैं वो कर लेता, तो जो mistakes थी शायद मैं वो ignore कर सकता. So you've had a long career. If you are given an option to use that restart button once, what would you like to change?
Oh, in my life?
Yes.
Oh, honestly, I've got everything. I would not want to restart because although maybe I would have made 1 or 2 films more out of only 7 in 35 years.
But same complaint.
Yeah.
And why are you not making films so often?
I will make, but this is, I mean, as a director, it's a choice, you know. जब तक अंदर से एक आवाज़ आती है कि ये बनाना है. If I look at Dono, I wish I could have made it, but no, this is not my, this is my world, but this is not what I am. So as a director, I have to wait for that one calling कि हाँ ये सूरज बनाना है. So I guess I have to, that's how I am.
So but I hear something is happening, maybe with Salman again.
Yeah, I will be making, but right now it's Dono because I really want to see how, I'm very inquisitive to know how Dono will take Rajshri a step forward.
Yeah.
Because the मूल्य of जो Rajshri का है वो ही रखा है Avnish ने, but these youngsters have taken one step ahead. So I'm waiting and watching, you know, how Rajshri can evolve.
Yeah.
In a
Sir,
new
if
round
it
of
brings
cinema.
smile to our face, that means it's a Rajshri film.
Yeah.
If that starts, then it's a
Very
Rajshri
sweet of you
film.
to say.
To the three of you, I want to ask you, if you all get a chance to remake any of your, you know, your father's film, your mother's film, your father's film, what would it be and why?
I don't think I would want to make any of my father's films because I honestly think that what makes a Sooraj Barjatya film special is the way he looks at the world. My father, he's a very graceful person and there's no cynicism.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important for a director to have that point of view. That's the only way you do justice to the stories. But from Rajshri, I think a film that I would love to have be made again is actually the first collaboration that Rajshri had with Dharamji, which was Jeevan Mrityu. It's this lovely action film, and it's a lovely film. So I think that has a lot of potential, and yeah, let's hopefully we get a chance to do that.
I hope so too.
Yes.
Paloma?
I would love to be in a movie maybe like Trishul or even Karma. They were such well-made films and such amazing star cast in both those films. To be a part of something so big.
Sure.
Great.
Rajveer?
I don't think it's a good idea to make any movies. It's like painting the Mona Lisa again. Like, why would you want to do that? But if you put a gun to my head,
No, I'm not.
what movie you want to remake? I think Arjun will be interesting
Wow.
in this climate, the whole political college and everything.
Yeah.
So, if I have to, a gun to my head.
Yeah. Maybe even Gadar 3 with the whole success that's coming his way with Gadar 2.
That's obvious. But I think that would be more interesting.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Last thing, what would you like to tell the audience about Dono?
If you're ever feeling confused or you feel like, there's a puzzle that needs to be solved in your life and you're missing the final piece, I hope when you go see this movie, that will be the final piece.
How amazing.
Well said. Yeah.
Very well said. But thank you so much. I had a
Thank
great
you.
time talking
Thank
to
you
you
so
guys.
much.
And
Thank
I
you,
really
thank
can't
you.
wait
Thank you.
to watch Dono in theatres. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank
And
you
sir,
so
please
much.
make more films. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.